We were totally shocked by your decision, Elsa. We really thought that you would go back to Arendelle with Anna. After all, you were doing a great job as queen. But Honey Marin was right. You really do belong in the Enchanted Forest. You'll be closer to Atoholland, where your powers come from. And you can get closer to all the other spirits. Plus, it's not like you're that far from your family. But what does this mean for the future of Arendelle? Frozen 2 had a pretty satisfying ending, but fans are already dreaming up plots for a third movie. We have to admit, a lot of these fan theories make total sense. Keep watching for the best theories about Frozen 3.
Okay. Lion.
Grizzly bear.
Monster.
Brown bear.
Angry face.
Black bear. Hans.
The ending of Frozen 2. We can't believe everything that happened in Frozen 2. There were a lot of storylines that had to get wrapped up. First, Anna realized that the only way to free the forest was to destroy the dam. The dam had been built by her grandfather, who used it to trick the Northoldrons. It destroyed their resources, and her grandfather attacked the tribes, which angered the spirits. So they cut off the forest from the rest of the world. When Anna destroyed the dam, she also freed Elsa, who had been frozen in Atoholland. This made Elsa's powers complete as the fifth spirit. She is the one who can unite and calm the other spirits. She arrived just in time with the knock to save Arendelle from being destroyed by the flood. Elsa used her magic to bring Olaf back to life. Water has memory and snow is just frozen water. Kristoff finally proposed to Anna, and Elsa realized that she belonged in the forest with the other spirits, causing Anna to become the Queen of Arendelle. Frozen 2 was beyond epic, and it's got fans talking. Some are convinced that a third and final installment is a shoo-in, and Frozen 3 theories are flying around the internet as though they were being guided by Gail herself.
Kristoff, can I borrow your wagon? And Sven?
I'm not very comfortable with the idea of that.
Elsa's Forest Adventures. The first Frozen 3 theory is all about Elsa. She's no longer the Queen of Arendelle, so what will she do with all of her time? One theory about Elsa is that she'll finally get a love interest. Plenty of fans noticed some serious chemistry between Honey Marin and the Ice Queen. There are lots of fans who would love to see an Elsa love story. Also, now that the Enchanted Forest is open again, it can be totally safe. Some people in Arendelle still fear magic, like Elsa's grandfather. Or maybe news of the forest will travel to the rest of the world. Someone else will come and try to use the magic of the forest. Elsa will have to stop them. She could also figure out more about her parents. She never did decode that parchment she and Anna found in the shipwreck. The Northoldrons said that her mother was from one of the oldest families in their culture, but we don't meet this family. Elsa might go try to find her distant relatives.
Princess Anna is dead.
Hans returns. Can we all agree that Hans is pretty much the worst? In the first movie, he's determined to take over Arendelle. Here's the thing about Hans, though. He's the annoying little brother of a huge family. His chances of ever ruling a kingdom are pretty slim. That's why he tried to woo Anna and get rid of Elsa. He figured it was his best shot at becoming king of anything. Hans might hear that Anna is now the Queen of Arendelle. He could think that it's safe to come to try again because Elsa isn't there. Hans might even convince his father or some of his brothers to help him. There could be a whole army. Anna would need Elsa to come down from the forest to help save Arendelle again. Hans is also totally the type of person to try and take over the Enchanted Forest. Hans would have gotten along great with Anna's grandfather. He could end up fighting the Northoldrons, and then the forest might become cursed again. Only Elsa and Anna can save the forest. Are you totally obsessed with Disney fan theories? So are we. Be the first to watch the hottest theories about Disney movies when you subscribe to The Things. Want to be notified about new videos? Make sure your mobile YouTube settings are set to allow notifications. Now let's get back to Frozen 3 theories. Keep watching to find out what could happen with Kristoff and Anna's children. Frozen, a prequel. We were absolutely fascinated by the story of Anna and Elsa's parents. It would be so cool to see more about them. We know what happened with Arendelle attacking the Northoldrons, but what happened before that? We would love to see what Queen Iduna was like when she was growing up. And then there's the whole question of what happened after. Where did Iduna go after she saved Agnar? We'd be really curious to know how Iduna made a life for herself as a young girl all alone. We also have to wonder what else was going on in Arendelle. People had to be pretty upset about the forest being sealed off, and Agnar became king that very same day. but he was just a boy. He had a lot to learn and never had time to grieve. Another possibility for a prequel could happen way before Iduna and Agnar. The Northoldrans are an ancient people. Elsa was probably not the first person with powers. We think a movie about the ancient Northoldrans would be so cool. It could explain all about the magic of the forest. Why is there only magic in the forest? We think there was probably a time when magic was outside of the forest too. Take a look at the trolls. They're made of stone just like the earth giants. They are just a lot smaller. Grandpappy has some magical abilities. He was able to heal Anna and erase her memories as a kid. He can see the future. A prequel could explain all about the trolls and their magic. How did they get to Arendelle? There are so many questions that still need to be answered, and prequels are a great way to do that. There could also be a prequel about what happened when the forest sealed off.
It was a magical place, but something went wrong.
The Northoldrans and the Arendelle soldiers were trapped for 34 years. They were constantly at odds with each other. We would love to see how the soldiers learned how to survive. The Northoldrans' whole way of life had to change too. Can you imagine not being able to really see the sky for decades? They were also used to using the forest magic. The spirits helped them with their day-to-day life, but after the forest was sealed from the outside world, the spirits kind of disappeared. That is until Elsa awoke them with her song. It would be cool to see what was happening in the forest during those 3 decades. Anna and Kristoff. Anna and Kristoff are seriously couple goals. These two are just so in love. They're way more realistic than a lot of Disney couples.
Now back up while I deal with this crook here.
What did you call me?
Kristoff adores Anna. He helps her instead of just trying to protect her. We're so glad he finally got over his awkwardness and proposed. At the end of Frozen 2, Anna is announced as the Queen of Arendelle, but it's not clear whether or not she's married yet. Kristoff gets all dressed up along with Sven and Olaf for Anna's special day. So if they aren't married yet, Frozen 3 could be about the royal wedding. But it can't just be an easy wedding. There would have to be some major adventure. Perhaps Hans comes back and kidnaps Anna. Maybe Kristoff and Sven get lost while they're out exploring and Anna and Olaf have to find them. Either way, we really want to see a wedding. Kristoff attempting to write his own vows would be so cute. Elsa would have to come back to be maid of honor, of course. We guess Sven would be the best man. Grandpappy would perform the ceremony. You have to admit, it would be the best wedding ever. A spin-off. Everyone loves the main characters from Frozen. Anna and Elsa are awesome. Kristoff and Sven are so much fun to have around.
Yeah, people will beat you and curse you and cheat you. Every one of them's bad, except you.
And Olaf is the cutest and most hilarious snowman ever.
What? Hey, whoa! Oh, I love it even more.
But there are plenty of other characters that were introduced. These characters were so cool. We'd love a story about General Matthias and his lost love in Arendelle. Ryder is also a super cool character. He was so excited to see what life was like outside of the forest. Maybe he and the reindeer go on some grand adventure. Then there's Honey Marin. We want to know so much more about this character. She is really amazing, but she's kind of mysterious. We think there could be a ton of spin-offs based on the minor characters from Frozen 2. The Next Generation.
Are you serious?
And it's the latest model.
No, I can't accept this.
You have to. No returns.
Now that Kristoff and Anna are getting married, there will probably be a whole new generation. It would be cool to have a movie all about Anna and Kristoff's children, but what would it be about? Well, we think there's a good chance that at least one of them will be magical. Think about it. Anna and Elsa are half Northoldran. Elsa was given her powers as a gift. It was because her mother saved her father and got him out of the forest. Then the forest sealed, and her father tried to make things right as the king, but he didn't really understand the past. Anna helped the forest too. She destroyed the dam to save it. She broke the curse and freed the people. Her children could be blessed with magic powers too. But Anna will know better than to force her kids to conceal their powers. Look what it did to Elsa in the first movie.
See? Conceal it.
Don't feel it. Don't
Let it show.
But Anna will also know that she needs help. We think a movie about Anna's future daughter going to the forest to live with her Aunt Elsa would be so awesome. Elsa would teach her niece how to use her magic, and since she's starting so young, she might become more powerful than Elsa. Also, can you imagine how cute Anna and Kristoff's children would be? They'd grow up with Olaf and Sven to play with. It would be cool and adorable. We really hope that one day we get a movie all about the next Frozen generation. That's a wrap. Which of these theories do you like best for Frozen 3? Do you have your own theories about a future movie? Let us know in the comment section.
Elsa's powers were too much for this world. Now we must pray they are enough.
Then don't run into fire.
Elsa, you've gone on such a journey. Back in the days of the first Frozen film, you were scared of your powers. You wanted to hide yourself away. But by the end of Frozen 2, you totally own your magic gift, and now you know who you really are. With all of this newfound self-confidence, you're more powerful than ever. You've even met up with 4 other awesome spirit powers and found your place in the world. We couldn't be happier for you. Elsa's been searching for the truth about her ice powers all her life, and she finally gets the answers in Frozen 2, which makes her extra powerful. Keep watching to the end to discover what new alliances will increase Elsa's power even more.
Anna? No, I have my powers to protect me.
Elsa's power is finally explained. First things first, we can all agree that knowledge is power, and in Frozen 2, Elsa finally gets the answers to all her questions about her ice powers. She spends nearly the entire movie and the first film trying to figure out where her magic comes from. We learn that even her parents weren't sure about the origins of their daughter's abilities. Their ship got wrecked on their journey to Otto Holland in their search for the truth. And the answer that Elsa eventually discovered was that her powers were a gift, not a curse. The nature spirits rewarded Iduna for her selfless act of saving Agnar by giving her a magical daughter. Simply by knowing the reason for her power, Elsa's power is increased. Elsa finds a community. In the original Frozen film, Elsa is an outcast. She banishes herself from her kingdom and chooses to live in isolation on the North Mountain. We get the perfect insight into her frame of mind when she sings Let It Go. They say that no person is an island, and you really can't get through life entirely on your own. So Elsa needs to find a community that she can thrive in and express her powers to their fullest. Even though Elsa reunites with Anna at the end of the first movie, we see that she's still not settled. At the beginning of Frozen 2, it's clear that Elsa isn't totally comfortable in the family setup, and the others still don't totally understand her. When Anna asks Kristoff,
Has Elsa seemed weird to you?
She seems like Elsa.
it's clear that Elsa isn't amongst others on the same wavelength as her. She can't get fully involved in Anna's game of charades. Sure, she's distracted by the voice that's calling her, but this kind of indoorsy, constrained entertainment just isn't her cup of tea. Elsa explains the disconnect she's feeling when she sings Into the Unknown. She wonders if the voice calling her is someone who's a little bit like her. Who knows, deep down she's not where she's meant to be. And eventually she admits that she's longed to go into the unknown. She needs to be free, out amongst nature, and by the end of Frozen 2, she's found the perfect environment. By living in the enchanted forest amongst the other 4 spirits, she can finally unleash her powers to the max. Elsa connects with Anna. Elsa and Anna have always had a tricky relationship, ever since Elsa accidentally froze her little sister's head when they were kids. They've managed to mend their relationship at various points along the way, but Elsa still wasn't entirely on the same page as Anna. In Frozen 2, Elsa promises Anna,
We do this together, okay? I promise.
but she ends up betraying that promise when she sends Anna and Olaf off in a frozen canoe. No matter how close they were getting, Elsa still felt a disconnect from her sister. She still felt like she couldn't fully embrace her powers and go as far as she needed to while Anna was around. However, by the end of the movie, Elsa has finally found a way to connect with Anna without stifling her powers. By being the protector of the enchanted forest, Elsa can live in her element while still having contact with her sister. She can connect with Anna through letters and meetups, but without having to hold in her powers. Elsa frees herself from imposed duty. It's important that Elsa renounces her role as Queen of Arendelle. This is a position that was thrust upon her when her parents passed away. It wasn't a role that she chose for herself. By being pushed into a station of imposed duty, Elsa was limited. She couldn't use her ice powers for much more than sparkly celebration fireworks. She couldn't unleash the full force of her powers while she was Queen of Arendelle. But by passing that mantle on to Anna, who perfectly suits the role, Elsa could free herself from that restraining responsibility. Sure, she ends up in another position of power as the protector of the enchanted forest, but the important difference is that she chose that role for herself, and it's a job that lets her use her full range of powers without restriction. Elsa knows who she is. In the first Frozen movie, it's clear that Elsa suffers from self-doubt. She had such a traumatizing childhood.
The gloves will help. See? Conceal it.
Don't feel it.
It's no wonder she ended up feeling like a burden. She didn't understand her true nature. By finally getting those answers in Frozen 2, Elsa could discover her true self. She can now embrace her powers and everything that makes her who she is. She literally lets her hair down in Frozen 2 when she gets to Otto Holland, and she embraces her true self. Before we reveal what new allies make Elsa even more powerful, we invite you to be the first to watch our latest Frozen videos. So if you haven't already, subscribe to The Things and tap that notification bell. If you're watching on your phone, go to your YouTube settings and turn on your notifications. Now, back to Elsa. Elsa finds her purpose. Elsa's big musical moment on Otto Holland is a major turning point. Show Yourself is like an anthem of self-acceptance, self-realization, and self-love. She sings about a friend she's always known and how she feels like she is home. Elsa goes on to sing about feeling so certain that she's there for a reason, the reason she was born. She's finally finding the answer she's waited for all her life. The voice that's been calling her is her mother, who sings, "Come, my darling, homeward bound," and Elsa replies, "I am found." Some fans have wondered whether the voice actually belongs to Elsa, and if it is in fact Elsa herself that has been calling out for the Ice Queen to find her purpose. Either way, watching Elsa finally embrace her true calling is such an emotional moment. Elsa can push herself to the limit. Not only does Elsa push herself to get to Otto Holland and discover the truth about the past, she also goes deeper than she's been advised to go. Pabby had warned Elsa and Anna about their journey. Before they set out to the Enchanted Forest, Pabby told Anna magic is very alluring. Without you, she might lose herself to it. And going back to their mother's lullaby about Otto Holland, Iduna has also warned Elsa about going too far. Iduna sings about the river, dive down deep into her sound, but not too far or you'll be drowned. Elsa stands on the precipice, knowing that if she leaps down deep into the memories of the past, it will destroy her. But she does it anyway, sacrificing herself to find the truth. And as she begins to freeze, she shoots out the answer to Anna to make sure their grandfather's betrayal is known. Elsa has pushed herself to the ultimate limit, and it takes such a huge strength to do that. With such strength comes power. Elsa has tamed her powers. We're so relieved when Elsa unfreezes and comes back, bringing back Olaf too. There's some debate amongst fans as to whether Elsa actually passes when she freezes and comes back as a spirit, or if she simply came back to life. She certainly looks more ethereal after her frozen moment. She's paler and more ghostly, but like Bruni, she's a physical being, capable of being hugged by Anna. So either way, whether she came back to life or is a spirit, Elsa exists in some form, and in this new form, she's totally in control of her powers. She manages to beat the water surge when the dam comes down and reaches Arendelle in time to save the kingdom from the massive wave. Her ice powers quell in the water, and all is calm. And the important point to make is that Elsa was able to do that because the spirits agreed. She is working together and finding harmony with the other powers now too. The fact that she's tamed her powers stands in stark contrast of the first movie. By the end of the original Frozen film, we see that Elsa is much more in control of her powers, but she still isn't totally there yet. After all, she accidentally freezes her hands to the balcony at the beginning of the second film, but by the end of the sequel, she's owning it. Elsa can tame other powers. Not only does Elsa manage to take charge of her own powers, but she also manages to control the other spirits' powers too. And she does have to use force in the end. Sure, she unleashes her ice powers in a battle with the fire spirit to begin with, but then she realizes that it's actually a cute little salamander called Bruni. And she finds that she can tame Bruni by being kind to him, and by using her own powers to make him happy, like giving him snow piles to jump in, or snowflakes to eat. She also gets playful with Gale, the wind spirit, and as for Nock, the water spirit in horse form, Elsa totally takes charge. She manages to rein in Nock, quite literally, to ride the water spirit across the waves to Otto Holland. And she finds a way to work together with the horse in harmony. This ability to not only tame her own powers, but the other spirits' powers too, makes Elsa even more powerful. Elsa has 4 new powers to play with. As Elsa is working in harmony with the 4 spirits, she now has 4 new powers to play with. This has practical benefits. For example, Elsa is so friendly with Gale that she can send letters to Anna thanks to the helpful wind spirit. And when earth, fire, wind, water, and ice all connect, they make an unbeatable force. Elsa's at the center of that power, and we couldn't be happier for her. What did you think about Elsa's journey in the sequel? Do you believe she's happier now, living in the enchanted forest? Or do you wish she was still living with Anna? Sound off in the comments.
Distracted. Worried?
Hey, Elsa! We know that you have a lot going on in Frozen 2. An unknown voice is calling your name, and it wants you to go north. You're going to travel into the great unknown to discover more about yourself and save Arendelle.
If anyone can save Arendelle, it's you.
But what comes next? Some fans still think you need a love interest, or will you decide that being queen isn't for you? We think there are definitely enough storylines for a third movie.
Should I know what that means?
Frozen fans are already excited about the prospect of a Frozen 3 movie. Disney is far from confirming the third film, but that doesn't mean it's off the table. Stay tuned as we reveal why Frozen 3 needs to happen. Love stories. One of the biggest reasons fans want Frozen 3 to happen has everything to do with love stories. We love seeing Anna and Kristoff slowly fall for each other in the first film.
Do you like it?
Like it. I love it!
They are just perfect for each other. In Frozen 2, they are still together. We know that Kristoff wants to propose to Anna, but he keeps trying to find the right time. From what we've heard about the new movie, he keeps getting interrupted when he tries to propose.
Oh, come on. She couldn't act out ice?
Poor Kristoff. Frozen 3 would be a great opportunity to explore their romance. Imagine if something happens while they're planning their wedding. Maybe Hans comes back into the picture. After all, he was technically engaged to Anna.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
That could be some serious drama. Or maybe something happens to Kristoff before the wedding, and Anna and Elsa have to save him. There is definitely no shortage of storylines for a movie all about Kristoff and Anna getting married. There are also plenty of fans who think Elsa needs a love interest. You probably remember the Give Elsa a Girlfriend campaign. It started before Frozen 2 was even announced. Many fans were disappointed to learn that Elsa will not be falling in love in the second movie.
Find who is calling to you. They may have answers.
But there is always the possibility of a threequel. In fact, a new site called We Got This Covered reported that Elsa is getting a girlfriend in Frozen 3, but we aren't sure who their super secret source is. Disney execs have said that there are currently no plans for a third movie. They will have to wait and see how successful Frozen 2 is.
Wow, Papa, that was epic.
And at this point, they don't even have a plot for the third installment. We guess people who want an Elsa love story will have to keep hoping. Elsa stays behind. Elsa's never really felt like she fit in because of her magic, and her powers just keep getting stronger. In Frozen 2, she says,
There's this voice.
Voice? What does that mean?
and from what the trailers say, it seems that she'll get all her answers about her magic in the enchanted forest. No one has been allowed in or out of the forest for decades.
Who are you?
But her magic allows her in. What if Elsa finally finds where she belongs? We could totally see her choosing to stay behind at the end of Frozen 2. She never wanted to become queen at her young age.
Do you have to go?
You'll be fine, Elsa.
But she lost her parents. She might not want to be the queen of Arendelle. If she stays in a place of magic, she might tell Anna to take over the throne, and that would definitely open up a possibility for a third movie. Anna doesn't want to rule either, and she wants to stay with her sister.
We do this together, okay? I promise.
Frozen 3 could be about Elsa needing to return to Arendelle to save her sister from some threat. Or maybe she only wanted to stay away to find herself and get better at magic. A third movie could be about her journey home. All about Anna. The Frozen movies may be about sisterly love, but they're more geared towards Elsa's journey. The first movie was about Elsa learning to accept her powers and Anna trying to convince her to come home.
You belong down in Arendelle.
So do you.
The second movie is about Elsa learning more about her powers and saving Arendelle. Anna is there because she supports her sister. Plenty of fans think Frozen 3 should be mostly about Anna. There have been lots of theories that Anna might have powers of her own. She might be the Fire Queen to Elsa's Ice Queen. Frozen 3 could definitely explore Anna learning to harness her own magic.
Get out of there!
But maybe Anna doesn't have powers. She could go on her own adventure. Perhaps she tries to find out what happened to their parents. Or maybe Hans comes back and causes all sorts of problems for her. It could be that Elsa needs to save Anna this time around, and we would love to see Kristoff be a huge hero. Either way, a movie about Anna would be totally awesome. We will have to wait and see how Frozen 2 ends, but we know there is still so much Disney could do with Elsa and Anna. Frozen 3 would make so many fans happy. Why do you think there should be a third Frozen movie? Don't be shy. Tell us your theories in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to The Things for more great content. We'll catch you next time.